פרק 14, משנה א', 14th chapter, first משנה. משנה זו מוסיפה ללמד בעניין צידה. This Mishnah continues to teach us when it comes to hunting. כך באה היא ללמד בעניין החובל בבעלי חיים בשבת. It also comes to teach us if you make a wound in an animal of Shabbat, if you're obligated or not. So obviously the two examples that we got in Mishnah Zayin or Mishnah Vav was kosher animals. And you're hunting them because they're food. That's why you're hunting them, because they're food. So what happens if you capture an animal which is not food? Is that even called capture? Because food, I understand. You're capturing, there's a purpose. Over here, there's no purpose. There's no purpose. So that's the discussion going to be now. שמונה שרצים האמורים בתורה. There are 8 שרצים, שרץ, that are talking about in the Torah. בפרשת שמיני, פרשת שמיני, we just did it now. והם, and they are החולד והעכבר והצד. The חולד is a kind of נמייה. I think it's like the gophers. It's a family of the gophers. עכבר is a mouse. צב is like a turtle. הענקה, הכוח והלטאה והחומת והתנשמת. All kinds of lizards and crocodiles and all kinds of these creepy crawlies. הצדן בשבת, if you hunt them on Shabbat, והחובל בהם, or you blemish them, you make a wound in them, or החובל בהם בשבת, חייב. You're obligated. So he says, what do you mean? Why should I obligate? What's the purpose? You need to have a purpose. הצדן חייב, why do you, if you hunt them, you're obligated? Because he says, these are animals that people hunt. Don't tell me there's no purpose. All these animals, people make boots. People use their skins for something. Maybe you don't, but in the market, they are hunted. They are hunted in the market. People have use for the skins. In other words, if it's for example, a spider, nobody is then maybe you're patur. You're not allowed to, but you're patur. But over these, since there's a market use, you're going to be obligated. לפי שדרך בני אדם לצוד במיני שרצים אלו בשביל אורותיהם. Because the market uses the skins והחובל בהן. So if you hunt them, I understand that you're obligated. והחובל בהן. Now he says you're also going to be obligated if you're going to make a wound in them. That's strange. Why wound? I'm not eating them. I understand if I take them from the skin, but over here I just hit him so he can go away. Or I don't want him over here. Why am I obligated? I mean, I understand that I'm not allowed to do it, but I'm not obligated. Over here you say I'm obligated. You should see patur. Patur אבל אסור makes sense. אבל obligated, why obligated? חייב שהואיל ויש להם אור. It says because they have a skin. So what? כשעושה להם חבורה, and when you make a wound in them, עד שנצרר הדם מתחת לאור, until the blood collects under the skin, הרי נעקר הדם ממקומו. You're taking the blood from its place. אלא שהאור מעכבו מלצאת, but the skin doesn't let him go outside. הילקח יש בזה משום נטילת הנשמה שבאותו מקום. It is just like slaughtering. The only reason the animal didn't die is because there's no place for the blood to go out. But if there was a place, if I would let it flow continuously, there was no skin over there, that animal would have died.
But isn't the dam would stop? No, the blood would
yeah,
stop.
theoretically. But theoretically it will die. כי הדם הוא הנפש, because the blood is the soul, והרי זה תולדת שוחט. And why are you? Because this is an offspring of shochet. That's the obligation. You're right, you don't need the skin, you don't need it. The obligation is it's shochet, תולדה. ויש מבארים הטעם, there are those who explains, שהואיל ונצבע האור מחמת הדם, it says, it's not shochet, it says you're coloring. You're coloring what? The skin itself. The blood is doing coloring. שנצבע והרי זה תולדת צובע. The obligation is because of tzovea. Again, why is it tzovea? There's going to be a difference. If the skin cannot be used, I'll give you an example. Like a fish. Nobody uses the skin from fish because it gets rotten. You don't use it for other stuff. So if you kill the fish on Shabbat, if it's going to the first opinion, you're obligated because it's told of shchita. But if you killed and you can go to the second opinion, you're not obligated because there's not tzovea, because there's no skin over there. That's going to be the difference. Or any other animal which you don't use the skin, you're not going to be obligated.
One is shochet, one is tzovea.
One is tzovea. So sometimes you're going to be obligated, sometimes you're not. It's very interesting. Sometimes you will kill a person, sometimes you will not kill a person. It's so important. ויש מפרשים, and Dardozo says, שהואיל ונעקר הדם ממקומו, חייב הוא מישהו מפרק. Some says it's got nothing to do with tzovea, it is משום מפרק, like we did in threshing. You know, you're separating the food. Okay. So you're separating food over here, that's why you're obligated, even though you don't eat it. It's not a kosher anymore. מפרק, שהוא תולדת הדש. That this is a tolda of threshing. ולטעם זה צריך שיצא דם כגורגורת. And according to this, we need to have the amount of blood that comes out like a fig, because this is what we say, when you separate a fig to eat, even, this is strange, because we don't eat it, they're not kosher, but still. ושאר שקצים ורמסים, but all other creepy crawlies, הואיל ואין להם אור, since all the other creepy crawlies do not have a skin, החובל בהם פטור. If you are making a blemish in them, you are not going to be obligated from the Torah. It's only the Rabban.
That you're obligated only because you see blood, and the blood, the nefesh is in the blood.
That's going to the first
But
opinion.
if you don't see the blood, and you אומר לו, מכה כל זמן שיצא מהם, as long as there is no, חובל בהם, if I see a fly, אני אתן לו זבנג, boom, הוא יעוף, he's probably going to die, this fly, but he says שכל זמן לא יצא דם, אין כאן חבלה. There is no חבלה.
But there is going to be the blood coming out. With the fly, you just don't see it. The question is going to be like this, according to which shita you're going to go. Let's take a fly. If you're going to say it's told that the dash, because you're separating the blood, a little bit of blood separates, you're not going to be obligated because there's not kegorgoret. But if you're going to say it's a tolda shchita, you're killing him and he's dead now, then you're in trouble. So it depends on which opinion. It depends on which shita you're going to go. החובל בהם פטור, שכל זמן שלא יצא מהם דם, אין כאן חבלה. That as long as there's not blood coming out of them because the skin prevents it, we're not calling it a wound. ברעם, אם יצא מהם דם, but if the blood come out of the skin completely, אף בשאר שקצים ורמסים חייב משום נטילת נשמה. You're going to be obligated because you're taking the soul away. Like the Ran, the Meiri. ומדברי הרמב"ם, the Rambam says, משמע שאפילו יצא מהם דם פטור, even if blood came out of the animal, and it's not a skin animal, it's not one that people keep, you are going to be obligated. ולעניין say, you're not going to be obligated, that's right, you're not going to be obligated.
Why?
According to the Rambam,
לא מבין את הרמב"ם הזה.
because you don't use those skins. And the Rambam says you're not obligated because of the tilat neshama, it looks like. It looks like the Rambam says the obligation is not because you shchita. He doesn't hold that you're obligated because of shchita. You're obligated because of coloring, maybe, he's holding. And since this is not called skins, even if blood came out, blood didn't come out, I don't care. Coloring the skin, not coloring the skin, it's not called the skin, it's patur. Okay. But what happens if you, with those animals that even though other people don't hunt, it's not a marketable hunting. For example, let's take today a cat. Yeah? Somebody decides he's going to make a hat from this cat. And he hunted the cat because he wanted to make a hat. So now the question is, are we going to look at it like a sheketz, like, or not. So let's see. הצדן לצורך, but if you hunt them for a benefit, הצד את השקצים והרמסים בשבת לשם צורך מסוים, for another purpose, כגון לרפואה, for example, maybe you need it for medicine, חייב משום צדה בשבת. You are obligated because of hunting on Shabbat, שמחוסרי צידה הם. Because once you hunted it, you hunted it. Even though nobody else hunts it, it's not something that people hunt. But you wanted it for a specific purpose, you're going to make something out of it, then you use it. שלא לצורך, but if you just hunted it for fun, or not for fun, you didn't even know, you took a cup and you put it over a spider, you didn't know the spider was there, you're not obligated. If you did it, if you wanted the venom from the spider for medicine, you're obligated. But if you don't need the venom from the spider for anything, you're not obligated.
As long as you didn't know the spider is there.
Even if you
knew
did,
that spider is there, that you're not patur.
I think you I think you still patur.
Because people don't hunt spiders.
Because people know that it's not something people hunt. You did it for no reason. We see the thing has to be for doing something. שלא לצורך פטור. Not for purpose, you're not obligated. Of course, אסור, אבל פטור. שאין דרך, he says, because אין הדרך לצוד אותם. It's not the way to hunt them. It's like it's like writing with your nose. That's not the way to write. It's the same thing. You're not supposed to write, but that's not the way. ויש חולקים על טעם זה, there are those who disagree, שאם כן אפילו צדן לצורך יש לפטרו. Because if, according to this logic, even if you did it for purpose, he needs to be obligated, not obligated. אלא הטעם הוא, why not obligated? I'm not quite sure. Let's finish it and then think about it. אלא הטעם הוא, but the reason is, שמשנתנו היא כרבי שמעון. That this Mishnah goes according to Rabbi Shimon, and Rabbi Shimon says, מלאכה שאינה צריכה לגופה פטור עליה. So it's not according to Chachamim, this Mishnah, and Rabbi Shimon says that a melacha, that you don't need the body of the melacha, you're not obligated ever. You're not obligated. הילקח אפילו דרך בני אדם לצוד אותם, הואיל וצדם שלא לצורך, even if other people do hunt them, since you hunt them and you don't need them, הרי הוא פטור. You patur, but this is only according, this Mishnah is going to Rabbi Shimon, we hold lechachamim that you're obligated שלא לצורך. יש מפרשים, there are those who explains, שהוא הדין בשמונה שרצין שאין הצדן חייב אלא כשצדן לצורך. It says, this is the law with the 8 creepy crawlies, that the one who hunts them only hunts them when he needs them. אלא שאותם 8 שרצים אין דרכם להזיק. The 8 that we discussed over here, they are not ones that damage people. ולפיכך כל צדתם היא לצורך. And therefore, whenever you hunt them, it is for purpose. אבל שאר שקצים ורמשים שדרכם להזיק פעמים, but like snakes and scorpions that sometimes dangerous, אדם צדם שלא לצורך. You're allowed to hunt them even though you don't need them. והיינו כדי שלא יזיקו. So that you're not hunting them, you're making sure that nobody get damaged. ולפיכך נשנתה חלוקה זו בסייפה. This is why it says it, this differentiation in the end of the mission. בשאר שקצים ורמסים, in other creepy crawlies. The other creepy crawlies are creepy crawlies that hurt you. So it says those you're allowed to hunt even if it's not for purpose.
In other words, if you have a scorpion in your house,
you're allowed to put a hunt.
You're allowed to put something on it.
You're patur. I'm not sure. You're patur.
You're not allowed.
You're not allowed. You're patur because you're still not allowed. I think a scorpion.
It's a mazik.
I know. I think a scorpion, the halacha says the only way you can do it, you can even kill it, holech keholech.
Oh.
What does it say? Like you're walking on it, yeah. But I don't think you're allowed to actually
kill it.
Yeah, or hunt it. Yeah. אבל הרמב"ם פוסק לשיטתו, but the Rambam writes according to his system, 1 8 שרצים האמורים בתורה, the 8 שרצים that are said in the Torah, ואחד שאר שקצים ורמצים שיש למינם צידה, and other keepy crawlies that people hunt, הצד אחד מכולן בין בצורך בין בלא שלצורך או לשחק בהם, if you hunt any of them, somebody hunt them, he wants to play with them, whatever it is always, the Rambam says, obligated. הואיל ונתכוון לצוד וצד, it says, I'm not going to play games. I don't care, once you hunt something, you hunt something. You want it, you don't. Obviously, if you hunt it, you want it. That's what it says. Don't tell me you don't want it. So
otherwise, you don't need to hunt.
That's right. Because he says, we're holding לחכמים שמלאכה שאינה צריכה לגופה חייב. That job, that even though you don't need it, yeah, you're obligated. What about חיה ועוף שברשותו? Your llama or your sheep that is already in your possession, של אדם, הצדן פטור. If you're not allowed to hunt them on Shabbat, obviously, but if you hunt them, you catch them on Shabbat, or you put them into the deer on Shabbat, you're not obligated.
What do you mean hunt them? You don't need to hunt them. They are your animals. How can you hunt them?
Because they were in a big yard, and you put them into a small corral. You take the horses, for example.
Well, they are not wild animals.
It doesn't matter. That's the case.
The thing, yeah.
For example, you take it out from the barn, and now they're in the field, and then you chase them into the barn and you close the door on Shabbat. Is that considered allowed or not allowed?
No.
So it says patur.
Patur.
I don't know what that.
Not allowed.
It's not allowed.
They have to walk by themselves there.
And even after they walk by themselves, you're still not allowed to close the door. You still will not be allowed to close the door, even if they walk by themselves. Yeah, but I don't know if that's the halacha. Okay. That's the Mishnah. הצדן פטור, the one who fight פטור, שאין הם מחוסרי צידה, because they are not,
למה כתוב שאין הם מחוסרי צידה?
because they're already hunted. I don't care if they're hunted in a big corral or in a small corral, they're already hunted. What do you care?
להיות שהם מחוסרי צידה, לא שאין הם. כאילו שהם לא מחוסרי צידה. צריך להיות שכתוב שהם לא מחוסרי צידה. שהם מחוסרי צידה.
No, they're not מחוסרי צידה.
למה?
מחוסרי צידה means you need to hunt them. It says, no, they're already hunted.
מחוסרי צידה means you need to hunt it.
מחוסרי צידה, which means they don't have the hunting on them yet. It means they're able to escape.
You have to hunt them.
Yeah. שאין הם מחוסרי, they're not lacking צידה. They're already hunted already. So therefore you פטור. Maybe this פטור is פטור ומותר אפילו. It's possible. שהרי ניצודים ועומדים הם, because they're already hunted. But החובל בהם חייב. If you are making a wound in them, you're going to be obligated, שיש להם אור, because they do have a skin. בברטנורה מבאר, שאין החובל חייב, בכל אלה שנשתנו, ברטנורה says that if you make a wound in all those who are mentioned in the Mishnah, אלא כשהוא חובל על מנת להשתמש בדם. It's only you're obligated when you want the blood. כגון לרפואה. For example, you used to use medicine out of the blood. אבל אם אינו חובל אלא כדי להזיק, but if he's just doing it in order to damage, הרי ההלכה היא שכל המקלקלים פטורים. The halacha is that you're not obligated, it's patur. The Rambam says, I'm not sure how the Rambam is going to say, I think the Rambam is going to hold like this. Only by Tzeda, the Rambam says, I don't care why you're hunting. Yeah. But over here, I think the Rambam is going to agree with Bartenura.